Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have to talk about Airbnb, short term rentals, and vacation rentals that a lot of people are buying around the world. Do you understand what you're buying? Do you understand what you have to look at? Well, you know, Mr. Cold Hard Facts. We have to bring it to you, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this if you're investing in real estate. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. No fear, no excuses. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because there's a lot of people that are out here just listening to people go do this, go do that without doing their own research. I'm about to show you some of that little bit of research that you may want to look at if you plan on buying something to do short-term rentals with. That's real estate, or commercially, even buying apartment buildings, because there's definitely things you need to know when you buy real estate if you plan on an exit strategy. Because let's get one thing straight: when you buy real estate, you're buying it with your exit strategy already in mind. It's that simple. That determines on if you're going to buy, why you're going to buy, and a whole lot more. So let's get into it, shall we? Because first of all, you know, we got to go to the Stop Struggling Now YouTube podcast channel page. So once again, I have to show members over here on the right hand side, courtesy of YouTube. It says our members. So those are the ones that you have to show. That's what we have to do. So once again, make sure you share the videos. Make sure other people know what is going on around here in the YouTube nation, the SSN nation. Okay, join, become a member of the channel. Under the community tab, members receive special messages. They receive 1 or 2 videos. They also receive the link to join me on any live stream that we do. That is very cool. And special emojis that they rarely use and don't even realize they have. So let's get into it. We're going to go over here to Airbnb. Most people understand and have heard of short-term rentals, aka Airbnb, aka VRBO, aka Evolve, a whole bunch of different names, right? There's so many different management companies and programs for rentals worldwide. But most people know Airbnb because that's the easiest one. They started out now roughly almost 14 years ago. So let's get into it. Let's start with what's good Airbnb. Then I'm going to go into what makes a good real estate investment. There's reasons why I'm going reverse. I want to show people who are thinking about going out here, buying homes, buying townhouses, buying condos, what you may not be thinking about. What is a good Airbnb occupancy rate? Well, listen here. We conduct an in-depth analysis and average Airbnb occupancy rates across 500 cities in North America. When determining a favorable Airbnb occupancy rate, we consider figures above 65% to be high. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So remember, a lot of people tell you, oh, we're going to do 60%. We're going to do 75%. We're going to do 85%. Do not fall for that calculation. I myself used to use 60 depending on the market. Now I'm going down to 50. Why? Because there are more people putting Airbnb properties into Airbnb, VRBO, and these short-term rental platforms. That means I need exponentially more people that's going to come into the Airbnb, VRBO ecosystem to rent. There comes a time when you reach a plateau. Once everybody knows there's an Airbnb or VRBO or short-term rental and where to go, now all of a sudden you don't go from 0 to 100 million customers in a few years. Now all of a sudden you already have 100 million customers. So now going from 100 million to 200 million, which would be the same as another 100 million, now all of a sudden it might take 5 years. So therefore you don't have the same amount of people percentage-wise coming into the short-term rental program. So we'll get into that first, but let me move on. While there are rare instances where rates reach around 75%, I'll have a link down below in the description for this, all right, for this article, all right? These are typical outliers. I'll repeat, instances of rates reaching around 75%, these are typical outliers, all right? Now, here's the real deal. The nationwide average Airbnb occupancy rate, irrespective of full or part-time property, stands at 48%. Less than 50%. So we'll just stay with 50%. Conversely, properties categorized as full-time with rates below 50% are generally considered to be on lower end of the spectrum. You know what lower end of the spectrum means? That means you're charging less. If you're going to earn less than 10%, less than 9%, less than 8%, then why are you even messing around in the real estate game? Some people realize, they go, you know what? I'm going to buy this for $500,000. I'm going to get 6% per year profit. I'll take $30,000 per year. You do, or maybe you don't realize, you have management concerns, you have maintenance and upkeep concerns, HOA concerns in most cases, and the insurances and property management, real estate property taxes, all of that comes into play. And when that comes into play, a lot of people don't think about adding all that in. They don't think also, sometimes they have a mortgage. And they're thinking, oh yeah, I'll take this 8%. I'll get that $40,000 a year, but your mortgage is 40 grand a year. Or your mortgage is 24,000 per year. That has to be paid. So now, are you really making 8%, 6% return after you start adding in other factors? Let's keep going. All right? This is why we have a strategy here unlike others. That's why I recommend do not buy anything above $250,000 unless you are absolutely sure, if you're going to do short-term rentals, that you can make $250 per night or more. Not wishing, absolutely sure. All right? Now, because I used to say 1%, but it's actually 0.1%. If you buy property for $200,000, then you want to make sure that you can rent your place for $200 per night. Conversely, you buy something for $100,000, you want to make sure you can rent it for $100,000. If you buy a place for $100,000, you want to make sure you can rent for $100 per night. Reason why is because I use that formula my whole life. Because I go, okay, that means I can get 20% if I get 50% to 60% rentals. Worst case scenario, I cut that in half. Okay, maybe I get 10%. Okay, is that worth it? Yes. The upside of growing, I grew with Airbnb. They called me when they started their Airbnb business, okay? When they needed listings. And because of my model that I did, I had a lot of listings. When they said, hey, we hear you have 5 or 10 listings. No, I had like 20, 50, 100 listings. They thought I was God. So nonetheless, I helped improve their platform next day, next week after they contacted me because I added X amount of listings in high profile areas. We'll get into that a little bit later. Or maybe I'll make a part 2 because this is going to be long. I can tell already. All right. So I just wanted to point this out about the 50% and the occupancy rates. Now, listen to this. In certain cities, the average occupancy rates can be as low as 10% or even lower. Now, see, this is why, again, location matters. What's in that location to bring additional tourists to that location? Because not just ordinary citizens in the city are going to do Airbnbs. You need people from outside of the city. That means you need a high tourist rate, tourist numbers to help you out. And there's no guarantee that you're going to have high tourists 365 days a year. Every place generally has a high season and a low season. So therefore, that's how you get down to roughly a 60, 50 or less occupancy rate. All right. Now, I'm going to skip by all of this because this is 2023 and this just says occupancy rates in 8 selected cities. Now, 8 cities, LA, okay, fine. But see, they're taking them from 2020 and 2021, which was during the pandemic. So I can't go by these numbers. But you can go by, look, this is in Canada. And see, once again, average Airbnb occupancy rate, look at this, nowhere near 50. This is 6 to 10 to 12 nights per month. That's it. Now, can you afford to just rent 6 to 10 nights per month and still be good? All right, I'm asking for an investor. All right, keep all these things in mind as you guys are out here. Look at this. United Kingdom, look, 32%. Basically, in order to get 32%, what is that? You have to go like 10 nights? Yeah, 10 nights divided by, is that 10 divided by 30? Yeah, that's about right. That's 33%. That's only 10 nights. Can you survive 10, 12, 15? Let me know. Can you deal with 10 nights per month being rented? India, which has a higher occupancy based on their citizens, or shall I say a higher number of people in their population. But look what happens. 13%. They don't even get 20% or 30%. Why? Because how many people go to India, to New Delhi, Mumbai, Jaipur, right? How many people? Sydney, Australia, another 30%. How many people going over to Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney? See, this is what you have to pay attention to. Don't worry, we're going to get into some other things. This is 2020. This here again, 2021, 2020. I don't really like going there for those dates, 2022, 2023. But again, they show you how to figure out occupancy rate. You divide the number of days divided by 30. 12 divided by 30 equals 40. 10 divided by 30 equals 33%. So that gives you an idea. That's why I said, can you make your numbers work with just renting 10 days, 12 days? You tell me. That's why you don't want to go out here and listen to people when they say, oh, well, it's a great market. It's great. You just buy it any old price just because we want to sell it at $350,000. Just buy it. You need to know the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, how you can improve occupancy rate. This is something that we talk about on our live streams. We have a lot of people that have done short-term rentals over the years. We talk about this. Other people want to sell a book. A book. They don't do this. They're just selling a book. All right, we do this. So once again, everything I've been telling you guys over 5 years is exactly what they're about to say right here. I don't know when this came out, but you guys were not led astray, and we don't charge for courses. So therefore, you were getting all this information, valuable information, saved you thousands of dollars, but you didn't realize it. And neither does the YouTube gods. But once again, look here. Instant booking, that does help you on Airbnb. That is major. All right? That helps out greatly. Photos and language also helps out. Take the time. Just don't put 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, townhouse, in such and such a neighborhood. No, give the people the lay of the land. You got to say this sleeps up to. You have to say you have a full kitchen and include these appliances like the microwave, the coffee maker, and any other extras that you have. You got to put that in there. You show pictures after it corresponds with that. You got to be like you're enticing them with your pictures. Your pictures speak 1,000 words. You have a sofa sleeper, show the sofa sleeper. All right? You have a balcony, patio area, show it. Your bathrooms, we got a lot to talk about regarding all of this. Revamp your space. Notice I always talk about space. Think about when you come into a hotel room. Do you see knickknacks on counters? No, because they know, hey, the person's coming in, they're putting down their keys, a purse, maybe some luggage, maybe their cell phones, maybe they need a charging for their cell phones. So why are you going to put clutter up there? It should be simple. So your guests who come there don't have to start moving stuff around, nor do they have to knock it off the shelf and break it. So therefore, your counters need to be relatively clear. That means in the kitchen. That means in your living room area, your sofa tables. Yeah, it's all right to have a book or something, but let people come in and feel comfortable. Nothing cluttered. You don't need fake plants or any plants all over. You don't even need those at all. Let's just call it what it is. All right, revamp your space. You can go to house, HOUCC, but don't worry about that. Again, you want something nice to look at, and when people come, you want them to be comfortable if you're talking about furniture. You don't go out here and go buy this IKEA plastic crap, this particle board crap. You don't buy none of that. You make it last, because a lot of people will tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now, there is something with regard to furniture and the ability to make it last. Generally, you're going to have to spend more money. But are you going to be changing your furniture in 2 years, 5 years, or 7 years? Because furniture is going to be your most expensive situation down the line. And upkeep, such as when you go in there and you buy a property and it has some garbage, aluminum, furnishings, or fixtures that's going to rust if you're in a high humidity area. All that's going to have to be changed in a short period of time. So you might as well just pay the extra few dollars and get a better quality of nickel or some other coatings. So therefore, it doesn't diminish by you have to change shower heads, where you're going to have to change the shower itself, the faucets, and do all this stuff prematurely. All of this is going to matter, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Understand your market. Keeping updated on the highs and lows of occupancy within the local market is valuable, okay, when trying to identify trends throughout the year. So, our Airbnb statistics show that Miami's high occupancy months tend to be March, of course, due to spring break and the events like Miami Music Week, Ultra Music Fest, and January through March. That's it. Just like in the Caribbean, it's along the same lines. The highest occupancy is going to be December, like December 15th through April 30th. That's it. Other than that, occupancy rates start going down, and why people are coming there. All right, keep that in mind. Consider using a property manager. That means you're going to give up 20 to 30 to 40% because it ranges on what somebody's going to charge you for property management, while you can go to sleep at night and not have to manage this thing. Use property management software. Yeah, we're going to have a part 2. Now, don't worry about Superhost status and all of that, because that's not the main focus today. All right? Use social media to get another audience to also go to rent your place. Keep in mind, there's 2 things going on. If you have an agreement with your management company that you can also rent, now all of a sudden you kind of have to agree to the situation, saying, hey, look, if I have people that's going to rent competing against your management company, they won't like it. But competing against your management company, hey, I got a booking. Somebody hit me up on Facebook. They need the unit. Block it out. Now you shouldn't have to pay them, other than the fact of the matter is, I'm going to pay my housekeeping, right? And everything else that I normally would have to do. But the fact of the matter is, you don't have to give up 25, 30, 35% possibly. But I don't know what management company is going to sign that deal. But the only management company that will sign that deal is the one that's going to work with me. All right, that's simple. If they don't sign it, then so be it. Market to a larger audience. Very interesting. Host for local events. Here we go. Which Airbnb amenities increase occupancy rates? What did I tell you guys before? Here we go. Barbecue, fireplace, top speed Wi-Fi is number one, and comfortable lounge areas. What did I just tell you on the top? Right? All of it right here. Now, the barbecue and fireplace isn't major. Wi-Fi is major. Comfortable lounge areas, major. Those two things are major. You want your guests to feel comfortable. Now, what else can we get into? Well, I like this right here. Get the basics right. We have statistics. Once again, additionally, hosts who don't indicate the availability of Wi-Fi, hot water, or a refrigerator suffer a 7.7% penalty in occupancy rates. So you think you're just going to have an Airbnb listing or VRBO listing? You need to say, I have high-speed Wi-Fi if in fact you have it. You need to say, I have a hot water, I have a refrigerator, I have a microwave, I have a coffee maker. You need to make sure I have AC all locked up. You put a check mark along that lines. I have security cameras outside, not inside, outside on the common grounds. And that means your complex or yourself. Keep that in mind. You want to see something else? What improves and boosts your occupancies? Items such as extra bed linens, basic cooking essentials, salt, pepper, that always comes in handy, and shampoo can boost occupancy by 7.1%. Are you getting this, ladies and gentlemen? There's a science. I told you guys about this. You want to add a gift basket when you go in there. You want to add maybe a card. You want to add some water. You want to add some sodas. You want to add a bottle of wine. Whatever it is, that's the hospitality business that you have chosen. You want to make extra money? Then you need to do exactly what the basics say, plus what we say at SSN Nation. And here's what we also say at SSN Nation. Creature comforts such as microwave, remember we always said that, hair dryer, 3.9% increase, microwave 1.5% increase, an iron 3.7%, and here's the coffee maker at another 1.0%. All increased occupancy rates across the 4 regions studied, including all 4 of our amenities in the property can yield returns of at least 5.3%. And you thought you were listening to dummies when we were on live streams telling you this. This is what you needed to have. The statistics don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't need statistics because we do this damn thing. But now that I'm looking at this, this is very, very interesting. Free parking. Now you understand why when you buy a project, you're in San Francisco. San Francisco, they get the rates. They get the rates. You're going to get your 1%. 0.1% is what you're going to get nightly for the value of your property. You're going to be fine. Or 50 or 0.05 because you can charge way more than what your unit is valued at. But what I'm trying to tell you is the offside is when you say San Francisco all of a sudden or Honolulu, you have to tell people, hey, if you get a car, it's going to cost you like $45 to $50 per day parking. We don't have free parking passes. So again, if you're going to have properties in places that have where you have to pay for parking, then now a free parking pass is now an upgrade for the person. So see right here, availability for guests park freely on site leads to a 3.5% boost in occupancy. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? See this? Family friendly. Advertising listings as family friendly can increase occupancy by 2.9%. So you know, when we talk about some of these pre-construction projects, and you guys always say, Eric, what's up with this amenities? This right here, family friendly. If all you have is a pool and a fitness center, that's not family friendly. But if you got a sports complex with a skateboard park, that's family friendly. If all of a sudden you have a golf course within your community, clubhouse, basketball courts, sports courts, all of a sudden that's family friendly. If you got kids' playgrounds, kiddie pools, that's family friendly. All that adds up. Do you see this here now, ladies and gentlemen? See, you weren't being led astray the whole time, and we don't have courses. No, all you had to do was come and listen. And now you're wondering why the YouTube guys don't show us no love, because we're not out here trying to jack you. Listing availability. Okay, indicating if the listing has the availability for guests to park freely on site. We already established increases 3.5% boost your occupancy. Listen to this. Listen to this. Other listing features such as availability of long-term stays and self check-in also increase occupancy rates 3.2% and 4.2%. 4.6% respectively. Notice this self check-in 4.6% increase just by itself. And then if you give your listing a choice between long-term and self check-in, that changes things dramatically. But I'm going to recommend something. I'm going to tell you like it is. Because of the laws in most states, I don't want to be in the business of doing long-term rentals. Why? Long-term rentals means they are tenants, which now means once you go past 30 days, they're a tenant. Now you have to deal with the courts if you're trying to get them out and they just stay. You now have to evict them. Now they get to stay for free. All right, I'm just saying. So keep these things in mind. This is why I do not recommend long-term rentals under any circumstance. Now, if that's your model, so be it. But I'm just saying those are some of the problems that you're going to have to deal with. Now, area-specific drivers. In beach neighborhoods, they're talking about Sydney. That increase, we know beach barbecue grills, but this is Sydney. I'm not going to go by that. All right, so hopefully that helped you out. It looks like I'm going to have to do a part 2, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just not going to happen. This is just too long as it is. So we're going to have to do a part 2. I wasn't going to go that long, but since we started talking about it and I realized there's a lot of people who may not have understood what we've been talking about. Maybe you're new here. So that's why I'm going to make a number 2, and we'll get into some other things, such as if people are listening to this, condo hotels are starting to rise. Why are condo hotels rising? Because developers want you to pay for the condo, and then they don't want you to outright own the condo other than by a piece of paper. They want to tell you are going to rent it to other people. So thank you very much for building our unit for us and giving us our money to build it. But you have no control over it. Other than, we'll give you 30 days to 60 days a year that you can actually stay in it yourself. But other than that, we're looking to make money from this, and we're going to be the management company. We're going to collect the money from management. We're going to collect the money from HOAs and whoever knows what other fees. So you're going to end up with a 50 to 60% payout to them, more than likely. So therefore, if you're going to go that route, you want to earn 5% on your money, 6% on your money, then I suggest you invest in dividend stocks in the stock market. JEPI, JEPQ, 9.5 to 10.5%. Call it a day. Safe, easy, ETF. No problem. With all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why you have to get out of this tomfoolery nonsense. Just because you have people on the internet saying, oh, I sold this book, so I have the Airbnb knowledge. I did this. They need to tell you exactly what's going on because there's nuances to this. There is no set thing. You can't just go, I'm just going to go buy a place here and then I'll be making 60% occupancy rate. That's not how it works. You have to have more than that as a plan. And actually, there is a very famous guy now in our Dominican market who's out here. And he bought a place in a location that I would tell people not to buy in. Because, let me put it to you this way. Some people may figure out where this is, but I'm not going to say exactly. Because I don't know the guy, so therefore, if I knew him, then I would talk more smack. But the point of the matter is, I don't know him. I don't know why he bought there. I kind of have an idea. But what I'm saying is, I stayed in that neighborhood for almost 2 months in the area. And I went down there to study and see why somebody would buy down in a certain area in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. What I found out is people that was staying there, their responses were, man, there's traffic till 1 a.m. in the morning because of it. We're on the turn. That kind of stuff right there is invaluable information. That means that will be part of the reviews when people stay there. That means it may affect my rental value. I don't want to hear that. I would rather hear nice, quiet, peaceful, no problems whatsoever. That's what I want to hear. And yes, walking to the beach, great. but you can always walk to the beach. I mean, there's certain things that you need to have, and you guys now know what that is. You need a certain look in your unit. You need your unit to be in certain locations. You understand what you can do to improve just your occupancy rate. So keep all that in mind. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.